Hey, welcome to Two Guys Garage, and how can we not be smiling when we have something like this in the shop?
Yeah, come take a sniff. Ooh. Smells good, looks good. I bet you it's delicious. 69 Camaro, awesome car, but this one has a lot of body roll.
Yes.
We're gonna fix that, step this thing up a little bit, a little brake action, so we're gonna have some fun.
Everybody in the world deserves a muscle car. You know why?
I know that.
Yeah. Well, because you've never seen a muscle car in a psychiatrist's office, have you?
No, I haven't.
Exactly my point, right?
That's a
Everybody
good point.
needs one.
Yeah.
When you drive this thing around, you're happy, you got smiles, you're enjoying it. The only problem is with a stroke 350 and a manual 4-speed, right? Those are bragging rights. You want to get out and enjoy it. However, the killer about these old Gen 1 Camaros is the body roll, the mushiness, the suspension. You want to get out there and be competitive. You want to enjoy the drive, especially throwing around some turns.
These early Camaros, they had small, little 5/8 sway bar, not enough to control the body, and the suspensions are pushing 50 years old, so they're just plumb wore out.
50.
Yeah, so this one is getting a full upgrade, front to back. And check it out, from Ride Tech, man, this is their full street grip system. It includes everything in one box, complete system.
He's not joking. One box, one solution, all the components you need to go from something soft and mushy to something that would perform on the track, make your friends smile ear to ear.
Yeah,
so let's show you.
This is the part we're talking about. Just getting this on there will help really control that body roll, but it's all these other goodies in conjunction that freshens everything up, tops it off, makes it perform like you wouldn't believe, sits it right. So let's start getting this in the car. You can walk through it with us, and eventually we'll get this thing back out on the road.
I can't wait to drive it. Let's show you, hop in here and we'll show you some of this old, fatigued, worn out stuff. Let's start with this lower control arm bushing. Now you see some of the dry rot in here, right? And that's gonna make way for cracks and all the stress fractures and so forth. Well, from Ride Tech, they replaced it with this Del rim bushing. Now this thing is solid, it's gonna give you all the performance, it's self-lubricating. Man, talk about feeling the road, this is gonna create that. Also, Kevin, you were mentioning that 5/8 inch sway bar. Look at that little thing compared to
It's like a coat hanger in there,
man. For a small coat. The new one's thick, beefy, really gonna help on that body roll, which we're gonna get to in a minute.
Yeah, so we're gonna tighten up all the mushy stuff and make it nice and firm. We're also gonna change a little bit of geometry in there and make the design better. So we've got a double A-arm suspension here, right? He was pointing the lower, here's the upper. Now, the original, geometry, as you're rolling and body roll, your tires doing a bad camber curve and lifting the flat off the bottom. So you're getting sort of camber gain, which you're trying to avoid when you're doing performance driving. By changing the ball joint, we're gonna make it new, fresh, and tight, but we're also gonna change the sort of length on it. So it changes that geometry, gives you a better camber curve, more tire grip, lets you go faster.
More contact patch always means better performance. Now, we're gonna dive into this, get it down on the floor, blow it apart so you can really side by side compare some of the springs, some of the different stuff that we're upgrading with Ride Tech. So you wanna man the lift, man? I'll grab some tools, let's get busting this thing apart.
Meet you back here. Suspension all blown out, we're going to start with the upper control arm. Now you can see now it's out, we've got our taller ball joint that we talked about, improved the geometry. Now in this case, it's already got a replacement bolt on. It might have sort of a rivet system. You'll have to just shave those rivets off, but this is easy, unbolt and bolt, but first, we're gonna get onto the bushings.
Yeah, man, and what a cool little tool. Sometimes if you have a press, maybe you can get in there, but it's tough to get the angle right, especially when you're pressing these guys back in. Well, Ride Tech offers a really cool little tool. Now we kind of got it set up here. You'll see a big thick plate, right? And this spacer column, along with these keyways here. Now what I'm gonna do is tighten this up. It's actually gonna pull that bushing right through there. And this, for $100, is the best tool ever when you're doing stuff like this, man.
A lot better than a press. Let me flip this over and make it a little more stable. And all we gotta do is wrench that thing out, flip it over and do the other side.
And there you go. Now, you'll see just in this old controller, we haven't taken these old ones out, and these bushings are really tough. Now, again, you should be able to move this fairly freely, but this thing, as you can tell, this thing is a grunt, right?
Yeah, so that's working against you right there.
Right, so that's not allowing your suspension to move the way it needs to move to do its job thoroughly. So the great thing, like we said earlier, about these, you put these Delrin bushings in there, and man, talk about movement, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Look at the difference.
That's some free motion right there.
Yeah, man.
Now,
yeah, that's gonna allow that suspension to do everything it's designed to do versus fighting that swelled up old rubber.
No
that's got all of
roadblocks.
those, yeah.
No roadblocks.
Exactly.
No speed bumps. So we've got everything in our toolkit to do the bushings on the lower, so we'll get those done as well.
Yeah.
Swap out the ball joints. Meantime, we're gonna take a break. Be back. If you're driving a 1990 or newer vehicle, chances are good that it has a mass airflow sensor on it. Now the MAF sensor is located in the engine's air inlet passage, and it measures the amount of air actually entering the engine. Now the PCM, or power control module, uses this information to determine how much fuel to spray in the engine through the injectors. Now disassembling and cleaning your MAF sensor, it's a relatively easy job, but let's be honest, you probably skipped this. Now this means your MAF sensor is getting contaminated with dirt and debris over time. And even if you do inspect and clean your MAF sensor regularly, they can short out or lose their accuracy over time just due to usage. When this happens, you may notice decreased fuel economy, power, hesitation, and possibly a check engine light. That means it's time to replace your MAF sensor. There are several replacement options, but our friends at Standard Motor Products didn't want to just give you another remanufactured sensor, so they introduced a whole new line of MAF sensors that ensure accurate airflow, precise performance, and long service life. These MAF sensors are a precise OE match, but S&P made a few improvements, such as thicker walls, upgraded components, and custom-designed platinum RTD sensors that perform flawlessly under all operating conditions. S&P has over 140 part numbers available, so you can find the one you need for your car at your local Federated Auto Parts.
Look,
It's
man.
not even a comparison.
No, it's not.
Look at the size difference. Hey, welcome back. We're looking at our sway bar, the old one and the new one.
Yeah.
This one from RideTech. And you can just imagine how much more ability that bar has to control the body roll in this car.
Yeah, man, if I got mad enough, I could maybe.
I just wad it up and tighten the knot, right?
I mean, 5/8 of an inch. A good thought, I guess, in 1969, but really, why even bother, at this point?
Well, it's also got Delrin bushings here, along with the upper and lower control arms, so all of that's going to be nice and tight and firm and self-lubricating.
And while we're talking about a spring rate and sway bars and stuff like that, another option you really have with this RideTech package is these Hyperco springs. Now, we pulled the old spring out, and you can see it. It's a little longer than what you have here, but this was rated at probably 300 pounds or so. When you go over to this Hyperco spring that's available in this RideTech package, really cool. Now, you see how tight these springs are laid in here, and then as you come down, you see this gap here. So this portion of the spring's rated about 450, right? And you're right around, on the most part, and these are going to be probably a 16th or an 1/8 of an inch, so they're going to be real tight and give you that soft plush feeling. But when you dive into the car into a turn, right, that's when you get to use all this part of the spring, and that ramp, that rate goes way high, real aggressive, woof. So you could dive into any turn, anything like that, stays level. Along with this sway bar, you're gonna get a nice performance, sweet feel at the wheel.
Yeah, you get good ride and good handling. Now, speaking of, once we get the spring in there, I'll show you where that goes.
Yeah.
We'll put our shocks in here from RideTech. Now these are from Fox, one of the biggest name brands out there. Now they're fully adjustable on the rebound. And with the spring in, we'll jack this up, compress everything, then the shock will slide up in here like so, mount, and anytime I want, I can pop the hood, I can reach in there, change my dial in the performance that I'm looking for that particular day. So we'll get this thing on the ground, get this all compressed and back together, then we're gonna move to the rear and show you some more goodies we're gonna put in this ride.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to roll it.
All right, the front takes a little bit more work because there's more stuff moving around, but the rear's kind of nice and simple. You got a leaf spring, a shock, a couple little brackets. But speaking of leaf springs, this is the Hyperco, rear leaf composite, in the Ridetech kit. Now this is either a spring or a bow and arrow for Thor,
right?
But I'm gonna go with spring.
Yeah, so I can barely lift this up like this.
The skinny kid could pick this one up.
Yeah, and this thing is literally, you just feel the thump it puts down compared to
Not on my toe. I want to feel it on my toe.
Feathers compared to this old, this leaf packing. Weird thing about these things is they fatigued over time. They sagged really bad. Those cars were notorious for kind of riding like this, You're never gonna have that with this Hyperco composite.
Yeah, and you're gonna get longer life, just like you said, from sagging. And of course, the weight is huge, not only from the weight of the vehicle, but now your suspension's lighter, so it can act quicker and more responsive. Follow along, we're gonna throw this back in the car, and before you know it, we'll be on the ground. We have just done a top-to-bottom suspension, front and rear, with our Ridetech kit. But to really take advantage of all that, we've got stiffer, stronger things. We want to make sure that we replace our body mounts, because this chassis with all these great parts on it has a squishability to it connected to the body. So some nice tight urethane mounts will go a long way to really maximizing all that.
Yeah, especially when you consider the mounts on this particular car, 45, 50 years old when you start thinking about it. And another thing we did actually to make it all go really smooth and organized was pick up a kit from AMK. Now these guys talk about attention to detail. If you wanted to say order a kit for every fastener you need for the interior of your car, the motor compartment, the underneath of your car, you can do so and talk about attention to detail. Everything is meticulously labeled. We're talking where you could find it in the manual, right? Other cars that it could fit and so forth. But they offer a thing called a master kit, which is awesome. Every bolt, every fastener. Imagine how many times, like me in my garage, I have a 5-gallon bucket just full of bolts I know are for old mold parts.
Find the right one.
Yeah, man, no. No.
You know what I like too, though, is they have that attention to the manufacturer design, so it's concourse quality, right?
Yes. Look at that.
So what we're gonna do is bang on some of these rusted old 40, 50-year-old bolts, get the new bushings in, throw our new bolts in. This thing will be nice and tight.
Yeah, stiff. We love it. All right, so we have our body mounts on the car. That's gonna help stiffen it up. We have our suspension. Obviously a lot of stiffening going on there, which makes the car really fun to drive. However,
forward.
Yes, forward. The problem you're gonna have with this girl right now is it has manual brakes. You took that out and tried to do any sort of performance driving. Now get going, you might be able to do that. Get to stopping, not a chance.
Right, so we hooked up with the friends at Master Power Brakes for a complete, this is their Rally Series disc brake conversion kit.
Yeah, man, and we love it. Their attention to detail, all the things they have, one of the things right out of the gate is regardless if you have drum brakes, which a lot of these cars came with, or the disc brakes, if you're lucky, you still use the same spindle. So a lot of times on other kits, you have to remove the spindle, get new ones. No, they incorporate the old spindle into the mix, so that's a bonus in itself.
One less thing to buy, one less part to put on.
Yeah,
right?
man, and you got a 6061 billet aluminum, all right, caliper, 4 pistons, loving it, and along with the bracketry, again, billet aluminum, anodized black, so you're not gonna see all that oxidation and so forth. You're gonna fine.
Yeah, what I really like is just when everything is machined that tightly, it all goes together super nice. It's that attention to detail.
Right, man.
Now over here on the rotor side, we've got a nice drilled, slotted, and directionally vented rotor.
Yes.
And what's cool about it, look inside, comes pre-packed with premium bearings ready to bolt on, which is fantastic.
Amen on that. And you move over to the booster itself. Now again, this car has manual brakes, man. We're gonna upgrade it to a power booster. Our friends at Master Power Brakes, they did something great. They have a bell crank back here and it eliminates that angle that you see a lot of times when you pop the hood on these first-gen Camaros. And you don't have to drill for the pedal ratio, right? And the pedal preference down here, it's all incorporated into this guy right back here. And again, man, every everything needed to make this conversion simple and easy. Stainless steel lines, you get a box with all your brackets, your brass fittings and so forth for lines. Really top-notch sort of kit you get from Master Power Brakes. We like it.
So we're gonna start getting this lower section on. We'll work our way up top and get this guy in, so stick around with us.
Yeah.
All right, one thing we've done is upgraded our wheel studs. Now these are ARP, we're big fans of theirs. What's nice about the extra strength is we also get this little dog point on here. And that's just great for ease of throwing your wheel on and getting the nuts started. So you don't have to worry about messing up those first threads, cross-threading or anything.
Okay, so the bottom of our brakes, all good to go. The rotors, calipers, lines, all ready. Now we're gonna attack up here, which would be the brake booster. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, brake job will be buttoned up, and finally some stopping power. Poof, put your face in the dash, all right? Back in a minute. Okay, whenever you're replacing hardware on a track car like the '69 Camaro, you always want to make sure to use parts that can handle that extra demand of the racetrack. Now, it's especially true at the wheel. So whether you're making turns or you're drag racing, your wheel studs are subject to a tremendous amount of acceleration shock load or shear, or lateral forces like elongation. Now, this can also be the case when you're using oversized aftermarket wheels. So it's a good idea to upgrade to a premium product like this wheel stud replacement kit from ARP. Now, these wheel studs were designed especially for use in these type of conditions, where your race car is going to face a tremendous amount of force at the track. The wheel studs are high quality, 8740 chrome moly with a tensile strength of, get this, 200,000 PSI, which means they can easily handle the extra acceleration and power. Now, the wheel studs are also cadmium plated, and the threads are rolled after they're heat treated, so extremely durable. You can find them in 4- and 5-piece packs for over 25 different applications. So check out ARP for the full lineup of fasteners, all made right here in the USA.
This tip is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
You know, a great way to save yourself some time and money is the engine oil extender from Berryman Products.
Man, you got that right. Now, you put this product in mid-cycle, so about midway through the point you need to change the oil, drop this in. It's going to replenish all the important ingredients that makes that oil so crucial, and therefore extend the life of your fleet trucks, making you some money.
Yeah, now we think of oil as just oil, but it's really base stock with a lot of additives. And those additives are doing everything from preventing sludge, corrosion, right? A lot of anti-wear additives in there, like zinc and moly base. Well, those are all in here. And so as you're kind of depleting them through the life of your, running your vehicle on your oil, you're adding them in, you're extending the life so you can keep those vehicles out on the road, not in the shop.
And what's going to happen, you drop this in, like he said, it's going to reduce that friction, reduce that wear, extending the life for your motor and your fleet. So check it out from Berryman Products. It's their oil extender. All right, guys, let's talk tunes. You gotta have them, right?
Yeah.
From Custom Auto Sound, this is their slide bar radio. Kind of cool, man, because one way you slide it, you got that old kind of mechanical, analog looking dial, and you slide it the other way and pff, all of a sudden it's digital. Welcome to the day.
High tech, modern times. Yeah, and what's neat is you got 7 different colors to pick from for your digital display. And then of course, even though it looks old school, so when you put it in your hot rod or whatever, it looks like it's meant to be there. It's got all the modern technology, right? USB, Bluetooth, you can do your whole iPod dock. I mean, you can even attach CDs on there if you want a deck.
Yeah, man. Really sweet, especially if you got that old school custom hot rod. You want to keep that look, but have all the modern functionality of what you're going to find in today's rides for radios.
Yeah, now 300 watts will rock you out, so check it out. Custom Auto Sound. They got all kinds of old school goodies. Man, no matter what you're doing, you can never have enough light, and here's Grody to the rescue.
Amen, man. Now, this is their Bright Zone. Really rugged. I mean, look at this handheld, for example. Rugged construction. You got vents. It's got a magnetic base, so you can stick it anywhere you need light, because let's be honest, I don't care how lit up your garage is, there's times where you need more light up in some dark corner.
Everywhere, man. Now, this is the latest technology, so it's LED lighting with lithium-ion batteries, so it's gonna last a long time, especially when you're out on the field. Now, speaking of which, you got 2 different chargers. So this one comes with a 110.
Nice.
And this guy right here comes with a 110 and sort of a 12 volts, so you can plug it into your, cigarette lighter. You got lighting anywhere you need to go.
And check out the lenses.
Yeah, and these are cool too, man. So no matter what kind of signal you need to put out there, warning signals, you can have ons, you can have kind of flashers or whatever. So great lighting system from Grody.
Available at Federated Auto Parts.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Sounded like a dinner bell, man. I'm like salivating all of a sudden. I'm hungry for a little taste of this big sandwich.
It's like wake up, beauty, because it's time to beast. You got to test it before, right?
Yeah.
And you saw some of that body roll. I appreciate your driving skills and
So I
ability.
see where you're going. I need to compare it again afterward.
No, we upgraded the car, so you need to upgrade the driver.
No, but I need an A-B comparison.
You're in the passenger seat. I'm in the driver's seat. Deal with it. All
All
right.
right, well, we're going to get out on the track. You guys
Yeah.
follow us out. One of us is going to have more fun than the other.
Seat. Passenger seat.
All right, all right, all right. Man, the car looked fast. I mean, you didn't look so fast, but the car looked great, and it really sat flat. It wasn't flopping around like before, man. How
Dude,
was it?
I kissed one cone. Aside from that, it was great, man. It handles so much better. Night and day difference. And especially on a tight track like that, you really be able to feel it. Like they say, man, fast lines are for fast cars, right? Turns are for fast drivers, and you just witnessed it.
I don't know about the driver part, but we'll see. All right, it's my turn. I'm going to get in it. It's
Okay.
my turn to have fun. But you know what, guys? We're out of time. I'm going to go play a little bit. Maybe I'll let Willie take a second spin. But we'll have to see you next time.
Two Guys Garage is brought to you in part by Federated Auto Parts. Best parts, best people, best service. Vehicle transportation provided by Pilot Transport, auto hauling specialists.